Feels like, you know, it's like, let's go to LA,
Yeah.
where Rich Newbold has got the latest gameplay.
Yeah.
But you're
Over here,
actually
my
just
little,
there.
my little desk. It's quite nice. Quite nice. The chairs doesn't look as comfy as your sofas do.
Our sofas are they're pretty comfy.
Yeah, I'm
We've
not
got
gonna
one
lie, they're
each.
pretty good.
Absolutely.
I could be anywhere with the green screen. We could put me on like a tropical beach.
Where would you
great.
want to be? If you could be anywhere, where
Right
would you
here.
want to be? Oh,
It would just be right here with you.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Right here with us.
That's pretty
No,
good.
Adam.
Oh, with Adam. Well, so we've only got one guest now on the stream.
We've gone down.
Rich is no longer welcome. No, I'm kidding, of course. Rich is incredibly tolerable. So, no, I'm kidding. Rich is, of course.
That's on the LinkedIn profile.
He's, of course, absolutely wonderful as well. So, I would say, Rich, if you could give us a little bit of an idea of what you do as the game director for those of you who haven't seen you on the stream before.
Yeah, so I'm the game director, so it's a kind of, Adam described it in kind of lofty, it's my vision, but it's not, I'm kind of the man at the top, the boss man is what we call me.
Boss man Rich.
Mocking way, but I'm the one that kind of has ultimate say on what we do, what we don't do, working collaboratively with a very talented design team and the rest of the development team about what we're going to put in the game and what kind of direction we're going to take with everything, and then I report up to the execs at Frontier about what we're doing in the progress of the game. But kind of me and Adam work collaboratively, as Adam says. It's his role to get the game shipped. It's my job to kind of push him as much as I can for as much in the game as possible, but we work together to balance the risk and all the changes and try and make it as best as possible. We work as a team.
Yeah.
Bringing you an amazing Jurassic World experience.
Bringing you an amazing Jurassic World experience. Absolutely. So I think what we can probably look to do now is the moment that many have been waiting for, and that's start having a look at a little bit of gameplay from Jurassic World Evolution 2. So before we start, I just want to let everybody at home know a couple of different things. This is an in-development build. This is, of course, meaning that there might be some things that are different from in the final game. There might be some bugs that we encounter, because that's obviously the nature of development as we go. But we were looking at this and we wanted to make sure that we could show as much as possible to everybody at home. So we've created a version here which is allows us to show you even more. So we'll be able to have a look at, of course, some basic parts of building your park, but we've also created it in such a way that you'll be able to see some Averys and some Lagoons today.
Yeah.
So you can see some flying reptiles and some swimming ones as well. So just to be clear that we have created this version so that we could do this for you, and that this is an in-development version of the game. But I think we can get started, Rich.
Like the microphones, just forgive us if it all falls over.
Yeah, it'll be all
You
right.
know, it'll be
I
fine.
mean,
We'll
you'll
get
get
through it.
really familiar with the back soon screen if that happens, so it's okay.
I'll start singing.
I'm over here driving, which is why I'm in my separate
Yes.
areas, because I'm the man on the decks.
So we've got Rich in the studio with us, so you'll be able to hear him all the time. But of course, as he'll be focusing on playing the game for you all, we're going to be the ones who are chatting with you and that you'll be able to see in the corner, and we'll be helping point out the different bits and pieces. So should we do some challenge mode gameplay?
I think so.
I agree.
I think that's
I think
the right
so.
thing to choose,
Because that's the plan.
because that's
That
the
is-
script.
That's the
And
plan.
I think that's what
Yeah.
we should stick to.
I'm proud
And
of
I
you
love-
guys for reading the plan.
I love challenge mode. It's
Yeah.
the mode that I really enjoy playing the most. Now I did with Jurassic World Evolution 1 as well. It's a mode that I really enjoy because the challenge is, it's a simple challenge. I'm going to say the word challenge a lot. It's just make a 5-star park. And we have different difficulties. So we have easy, medium, hard, and Jurassic. But in Jurassic World Evolution 2, we've modified things slightly from within the first game. So there are different levels. We have different conditions now. So it's not just about building a 5-star park. In each level, there's going to be different conditions, as well as the different level itself, different calamities, different environmental challenges that you might have to deal with. We have different conditions now. So you might have levels where there's no herbivores. There's no carnivores. We've artificially made research and salary more expensive. In some levels, there's no building upgrades available for you as well. So in Jurassic World Evolution 2, for instance, the storm defense, instead of being its own building, is now an upgrade.
Yeah.
in that challenge mode level, you won't have access to that. So we've tried to come up with new ways to make each challenge mode level unique and different. We're really hard on that, and also that each difficulty is difficult as well, and we have different things that you have to deal with. So
we try the hardest. I was talking to Dan Davies the other day.
Right.
I wasn't on Jurassic World Evolution, but obviously we had the Jurassic difficulties and the challenges there. And they were quite upset at how quick some of you got through some of the challenges. So this time round, we're just going to throw loads more at you and really try and, you know, make it that tricky top.
Exciting thing.
But no
to
doubt
play.
someone will just cruise right through it. But we'll see.
But
Which will
there's
still make
always-
Rich can do it, of course.
Well, it'll all be very, very
Same
exciting.
down that ship.
Either way, whichever difficulty. It does mean that
Oh
for
yeah, it's tailored to how
anybody
you want to play.
exactly
Absolutely.
for no
I'm
matter
in easy
which-
mode. I'm straight on the easy mode.
Straight on easy mode.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a player. I'll go for that Jurassic mode, and then I'll realise that
Okay.
I shouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
and I'll restart over on
Restart.
easy or medium, and sort of start from there and work my way back up.
It's good you,
So-
you know you play it how you want to play it, right?
Absolutely, and it's great that we've got that ability in there for
Yeah.
everyone as well.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we're in the development build, and on this challenge mode, we're in Canada.
Yes, one of the various locations. We're no longer, you know, sort of on just the 5 deaths now. It's with the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We're taking a look at some of North America in this game as well now. And as we are here, we're in Canada in one of the Taiga. There's a
Taiga,
question.
yeah.
Taiga or Tiger environments. Which obviously is a very, very different situation to the tropical islands. So straight off the bat, it's a very different environment and place to be. And seeing these
Hugely.
dinosaurs in this location is quite impressive.
It is, and it gives us all of these new challenges. as
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
see.
With the different environments come different, potentially different weather calamities and different weather challenges that you
Absolutely.
may have to face as a player. So yeah.
So I think to start with, if we can move to we'll move to the full screen view. So you'll still be able to hear us at home. But Rich, do you reckon you could give a little explanation on how you're starting your park and what you've got there in the bottom right corner?
So down here we have, this is the first challenge level, so we've given you some suggestions of how to start making money. Obviously the objective is to make a 5-star park, and the way you do that is to build a park that is making lots of money, has lots of dinosaurs, and your guests are really happy and comfortable. So we're just going to give you some starting objectives just to get the ground going, get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling, so you know what you're going to need to do, learn the basics, so that you can then build on that to get to 5 stars. And the first thing you're going to need in a dinosaur theme park is some dinosaurs. So we're going to build a couple of buildings of building the basics of making some dinosaurs. And we need 2 key buildings to begin with. We need one which is the expedition center. So you're going to use this building to send expeditions around the world to collect dinosaur fossils from various dig locations. And what we need to do is make sure this building's connected to the rest of our facility, to connect to the arrival point. We use this as kind of like a hub building, so all the buildings need to connect to it.
I think also I'm going to rate your park at the end of it.
Ooh, I want
I think we should all rate it.
We can give it individual ratings.
The game already does that, but cheers.
Well, we can
No,
give you
it's
ratings
gonna
I think
as
count
well.
I've got a star.
it's a stream rating. I think
Okay,
the chat
cool.
may even give it
I
out
think
of
that's a
5
great
as well.
idea. I think chat, we're going to ask you at the end of the stream to give Rich's park a rating
I
and
can't
see what
wait.
you think.
I can't wait for the comments about the game director can't play his own game.
Yeah, I would also.
right.
Yeah, I'll give you a little caveat there because I do feel you on that one. It's a very different situation when you're playing your own game on a live stream.
We're gonna be all
all
right.
of it goes out the
And
window.
it's going to be fantastic.
But I'm going to put you under a bit more pressure as well because you know.
Thanks, man. See,
You're welcome.
so
That's what I'm here
the buildings in Jurassic World Evolution 2 also need power. So in the sequel, we've added a bit of some new buildings to the power system from the first game. So in the first game, you would build a power station and use substations to share that power to all your buildings using pylons. So what we've added is a new building type called the backup generator, which is there to act as a parachute for when your power stations get sabotaged or they need rebooting or they're damaged in a storm. So the backup generator is kind of there to supply power when your power stations go down, but it's also kind of the starting set of power buildings you're going to need and you use before you research the kind of more concrete power stations.
So let's get some power.
So let's get some power. So make sure I'm going to put this one here.
So as you were mentioning, the next steps are making sure that we can get straight on to getting a few dinosaurs in the park as well, right?
Yeah. So whilst my expedition centre now has power and is connected, so we're going to send out an expedition team to collect some dinosaur fossils for us. I always like the Struthiomimus. It's just a very good foundation, basic
good
dinosaur.
safe dinosaur to start with.
Safe to
If
start
dinosaurs can be safe, which we know they're not always
Well,
safe,
they're not always
but
safe.
I think I could last 10 minutes with a fist fight against the Struthiomimus than a T-Rex.
I
So
mean,
if it's going to break out,
why?
I'll give it a go.
I mean, that's true. A T-Rex
it is like an ostrich though, and they're big, so I take it back.
Yes, but the T-Rex is even bigger, I
Yeah,
think.
that's true.
So we're,
It would be a war of attrition against the Struthio.
I mean, luckily you can build things like shelters, and are encouraged to do so for your park guests.
Guest comfort is important as well. Yeah,
Hugely
it's not.
important.
It is a theme park, so Rich is rightly kind of starting with the dinosaurs. I tend to start with the dinosaurs as well because you can get the enclosure set up, kind of bed them in, make sure they're okay, make sure they're comfortable, make sure that they're not going to break out,
Yeah, of course.
and then kind of turn your attention to the guests because, any successful theme park needs to look after your guests as well.
You need to make sure that there's
thirsty.
an attraction,
Yeah.
which is, of course, the dinosaurs for them to come to.
Yeah.
So what you can see Rich doing right here is getting the first
Oh,
hatchery.
here we go. Something's turned up.
And something has happened there as well.
So we have these little events that can sometimes, pop up. And as you saw, Rich was just placing down a building, so it's kind of tied and in contextual to what was happening in game. And they do have effects as well. Like it's a multiple choice, as you saw there. You could either, I think it was a building material one, so you could either keep the excess building material if you had damage or repairs to make, and you can sort of funnel it into that. Or you can get the money back if you need to. So depending on the situation where you are, obviously I think he took the money back, which makes sense because he didn't have anything to.
You got a
to
lot
repair.
of choices, and they can take you in these different
so
directions.
it's just little kind of they give you a little bit of colour while you're playing through the challenge.
Absolutely.
So you see when he's got his expedition team has come back now, so he's going to head over to the science centre.
So the Science Centre gives us a couple of things that we can have a look at, and one of them, as you can see right now, being the fossils. And
on the face of it, it's very people will be aware of what this screen if you play the first game, but there are some changes here as well, aren't there, Rich?
Yeah, so in Jurassic World Evolution 2 we now have an extraction slot, which means you can queue up multiple fossils at once, or fossils and minerals, and then you extract them all in one go using your scientists. It allows you to then kind of choose which ones you want to do, and I think as you go through the building upgrades paths, you can get some more slots, and you can extract more fossils at once. So I'm going to do all of these in one go. Assign a scientist. The scientists, the new system that we've added for the game. So as every part of creating a dinosaur will use your scientist. They're people that you can hire and you have to pay salary for. So you can have to then balance whether you want to hire more scientists, which is a lot more of your money, or keep the ones you've got and train them up. They have three different. You have the three different proficiencies.
Yes.
One is welfare, one is genetics, and the other one is logistics.
Logistics?
That's the one. I always
It's
forget that
logistics.
one. And then they also have their own traits. So, for instance, Travis has cheaper research. So if I use him on a research task, it's going to reduce the cost of that down by 30%. So there's combinations of different members of the scientist team can be used in different ways. So I'm just going to put them on this.
You can also, so what Rich is doing here is each task has a maximum slot of scientists you can assign. Too many cooks spoil the broth and all that, so you don't want everyone piling in.
Of course.
But you can, if you have spare scientists to free up for tasks, you can reduce kind of the duration of those tasks by adding more people on.
Absolutely.
So that's like another kind of balance and lever that the players can use to
have more scientists on
exactly.
a project, but
then you're not going to be able to
manage.
research another thing or something like that. So you can either kind of get some parallelization. I have to say that word a lot in my job, and I can't. Or it's a bit more sequential with piling people up. So
You
So
can,
it's
of
a
course,
great addition.
add more scientists to your roster as well.
Yep.
Right
yep.
now, Rich is going to be absolutely fine with the scientists he has available to him.
That's
but
quite an enclosure as well.
It is quite the enclosure.
So I'm historically, and it's a running joke with me in the design, really bad at making nice looking enclosures because I'm not an artistic type, you could say. So my attitude to fencing is basically click, 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 click. That looks about right. So I've made an effort to use the curve toggle for once in my life. I'm very much right angles and things like this. Like that could have been nicer. I know it could have been nicer, but
So
it's a trademark now, though. You know,
I know,
if you go to a Rich Newbold Jurassic World
Say,
Park,
you know
you'll know
it
what it's
from
going to
your
look
design
like.
approach.
Yeah.
So I noticed somebody in the chat noticed. I noticed that they noticed that the fences aren't instant.
No. So there's a kind of one of the updates to fence construction is that it is now in sequence to how you've placed it,
Yes.
as opposed to just being instantly there. So adds another little thought, a little bit of extra management layer of how you construct your park and how you lay it out. So you can see here, Rich has taken time to build his unique-looking enclosure.
we also wanted it to be add a layer of complexity for when a dinosaur did get out. So that in Jurassic World Evolution 1, you could kind of very quickly fence the situation away and you kind of deal with it that way. But now you don't have that. You don't have that easy out of quickly building a fence around an escaped dinosaur now because of the time. There's a chance they're just going to move away from where you put your fences in, so you're going to have to deal with them with the ranger teams and the capture teams instead. So
Absolutely.
but yeah, it was one of those things that it's a bit of we like the way it looks as well. It kind of feels that you're building things like you do with the other buildings. They take time to construct, so that we do the same with the fences and the paths as well. Do it in a little bit of a way, but it also kind of means that you're more challenged as park managers to deal with any of the dinosaurs escaping. So I think I now have a lot of Struthiomimus genomes, so I'm going to synthesize and incubate a new dinosaur. So we're going to use the new two-step process, the synthesize and incubation, create a new dinosaur. So we have our fossils, we've extracted that dinosaur DNA, that amazing dinosaur DNA, and now we're going to make a dinosaur.
Amazing. So while Rich is beginning the process of making a dinosaur, I just want to quickly let everybody at home know what we're doing here today. So we are currently in the middle, as you can see, of gameplay for Jurassic World Evolution 2. So welcome everybody to the chat that I saw just filing in there. Just to let you know, that's what we're doing today. A few people asking about the build. This is an in-development build, so it is not the final version of the game. And so therefore there might be some bugs, there might be some small issues, but we've also adjusted this build so we can show you as much as possible during this stream. So we've made it so we can get to things like Avery's a little bit faster, and made it a little bit easier to do some of the research so that we can show you this as quickly as possible, because we know after all of your incredible comments that you want to see all of this live. So we're trying to do as much as we can for you today. So right now we're in the midst of creating our first dinosaurs in our park, and it looks like Rich has chosen the Struthiomimus for that.
And he's already gone through one of two steps now. So in Jurassic World, it was just the one kind of incubation step and release your dinosaur. Whereas now what you have is a chance to synthesize a clutch of eggs. So you have a chance, depending on the species, of actually releasing more than one dinosaur at a time now, which is a massive update. During the synthesization, it's not even a word.
Synthesis.
During the synthesis of the eggs, that's at the point where you have chance to make any tweaks to the genome. So we can now look at some of the traits which are new for Jurassic World Evolution 2, which I think Rich had a quick look at
Yeah,
when he was
absolutely.
building these. Maybe we can have a look at it later as well. And we've also categorized them, so it's a bit easier for players to understand what they're going to change and how that will then affect the dinosaur's behavior, because it does have an effect. And he then went on to incubate those eggs, so actually warm them up, get them ready for maturity, and then release, which
And
is
I
where we
think
are now.
We have 2.
And we have 2 options.
Two
Oh,
got-
Tim, you're good. You see all the options, don't you?
I
Nothing
see it
gets
all.
past you.
No.
Yeah, I had 3 eggs after the synthesis stage, so I picked the 2 that had the most traits.
Right.
I left 1 behind, but that allows me to, if some of the eggs have manifested traits that are negative, because there is a chance, depending on the genome, that some of the traits are negative, you might not want that kind of dinosaur in your park, whether it's, it might be a sickly dinosaur or one that becomes really thirsty, but you can pick the ones that you want to kind of incubate and then bring out. So,
Let's release our first dinosaurs.
So there's 2,
I
yeah.
want
So
mine
that's the example of more than one, obviously, because there's 2.
So I think this leads on to one of my favourite things.
The alpha.
I mean, you know this
Seeing
because
dinosaurs
I constantly
establish
say I
dominance.
love this part of the game.
This is the very
Is
foundation of
when
evolution.
the different
The
dinosaurs
authority of the
start
strong.
finding their space and their territory,
Yeah.
and finding out what can we do to make them more comfortable, which areas that are in.
Yeah.
Do we want them to find it outside, or are we going to fulfill their needs within it?
Yeah.
So the territory system, I love it.
Yeah, so you can see they're building, not we're, it's the Gallimimus,
There it is.
they're walking
They're
around the enclosure.
Struthiomimus.
And it's Struthio, sorry. And they're starting to seek out the things they need. So Rich has got one of them selected. You can see under the environmental needs, they've got obviously a need for water, as most animals do. Ground leaf, which is part of the paleobotany system, which we could talk about in a second when he starts to paint that down, or he's doing it now, but we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to
I can't go that quick.
That's okay. You're all
And
got all the
also,
time.
they have a forest need. Obviously, some sort of animals like to shelter and kind of be able to hide and feel good. So they're seeking this out within the area they're allowed to kind of move within, because he's put them within this enclosure. You can see that's highlighted with the blue UI there. He's clearing some space just to place down these leafy climbers. Now, this is part of the paleobotany system. Herbivores are now fed through these plants that he's placing down. So there's no herbivore feeders anymore. That's actually based on some research into prehistoric plants that we've actually had a look at here at Frontier Towers, and then brought them back in our kind of imagination, or reimagining them for the 21st century. So they needed ground leaf. The leafy climbers provide some ground leaf because, of course, they're quite a short dinosaur. You might find that the brachios will need tall fibre or tall nuts or something along those lines, which will then, when you're using the brush that provides that, you'll notice that there is a difference in the model. It's not just
absolutely.
kind of
And you've got to
stats
make sure that they stay fed and they stay happy within their new residential areas.
Exactly, residential areas. Exactly, what's it in their grand estate.
So I did notice one quick comment in the chat mentioning that it's really great that you can release 2 dinosaurs at once.
Yeah.
But you can actually release more depending on
Depending on the
egg
species,
clutch.
yeah. Depending on and that's all dependent on the species. So there's no. Again, we're trying to make it as sort of natural and realistic as dinosaurs that were 65 million plus years ago were. But it's all about building a world that's believable. So depending on the species, you'll perhaps get smaller clutches. But yes, it is possible to release more than one. And as we were talking before, you would have noticed there's 2 options now. You can release it, or
Out of
the
the
dinosaur,
hatchery.
straight out of the hatchery into the enclosure, or you can build your little airlock system that I used to do on the first game as well. But we also have the option to release via airlift now. So instead of having to kind of try and figure out multiple hatcheries and things like that, you can use the airlift option and then place them into another enclosure within the park. So that's a very nice little quality of life update.
I'll
there.
admit that's definitely one that I use
Yeah,
consistently.
I've used it a lot. Yeah,
I've got my
when money's a
one-
bit tight and you don't want to buy another hatchery, but you've got enough
but
for enclosure.
It's super useful
And then there you go.
for me. It was more the scientist resources and having them available. I
Yeah,
didn't want
exactly.
To have
Yeah,
more
you
than
don't
one hatchery.
exactly that. You don't
so
tie
it
them up.
worked out
Yeah.
brilliantly that I could create these different areas, get them ready in advance, and then airlift, especially with the more carnivorous
Yes,
species.
yeah.
I was making
When you
sure
don't want to
add
risk
them.
any
Yeah.
kind of fights or anything, then absolutely it's a great option. You can see these guys have built up quite a big territory.
Yeah.
I think Rich has done a pretty good job at making sure they're nice and content. Yeah, everything's
Yeah,
looking
I've
perfect.
tried to put the water over here, and I'm going to put the viewing gallery, so they're more likely to be in the viewing gallery's cone, so that I guess can see them.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like, yeah, absolutely. It's a very important part of managing your park is to ensure guests can see the dinosaurs. And you saw there that as they were walking over to that area, the territory was getting bigger. Over time, it also decays, again, like a natural animal's
There's a certain
territory.
flow to it.
They have to kind of keep on top of their area. So these, as you play and watch them, you'll see that the territory starts to shrink if they're not particularly interested in the area over time. And then they'll kind of ensure that they've got the area that they want. Every species has a kind of general size of territory that they're happy with.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful to make sure your enclosure is the right size that will actually make sure they're comfortable.
Just saw another comment from the chat from Blue Phantom on Twitch, saying that they love the UI and the colour of the UI and how it all fits with the map, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot of love for the UI in the
The
game.
UI designers and developers have done an incredible job at conveying an awful lot of information. You know, it's not easy
No.
managing a park. Certainly not easy managing a park full of dinosaurs. There's a lot of information that we need to get across to the player very quickly and easily. And I think, yeah, they've done an incredible job. But still keeping it within that Jurassic World Evolution feel. You know, you're at home when you come from the first game, or if you come here from nothing and you're going to come straight here. Everything's kind of laid out as logically as we think we can. You know.
I'm going to make some more Struthiomimuses.
We're going for more
Struthiomimus?
Struthiomimus?
I think it's Struthiomimuses.
Some
I had a
mimuses.
long conversation with several
These are the
members.
conversations you have in game
I had a
development.
long conversation
about how you
with several
pluralise
members of the
Struthiomimus.
Jurassic World Evolution 2 team about, do we call it like with S's or I, or what is
Yeah.
the pluralization?
Yeah.
And we settled on like Struthiomimuses, Stegosauruses, Brachiosauruses, rather than.
So very quick, sorry to interrupt you, Tim. You can see here the batch size that in the initial step is actually created quite a few. However, you can see now there's actually only 4 viable eggs that have gone through. So that synthesis stage does have a chance to not perhaps be able to pull all the eggs through. And then Rich can check the traits there in the bottom right-hand corner. And if he's made any cosmetic changes, there's quite a little an update to some of the cosmetics that you can apply to the dinosaurs now as well. And he now needs to get his scientist applied. Being careful of those 2 bottom scientists.
I was just
there.
about to say.
There's a bit of a
lot
red warning there, Rich. What was that all about?
So, the scientists, as you give them tasks to do in your park, will build on rest. So, kind of a bit like in Jurassic Park, the movie, when Nedry I know that was, he wanted more money, but the idea that we've used for this is that you're giving your scientists more tasks to do, they build up this unrest value, and when that hits a certain point, there is a chance that if you give them another task, they will become disgruntled. And if they're disgruntled, then there's a chance of more sabotage appearing in your park. So the way I can mitigate that is to have more scientists so I can spread the work out, and then have a staff centres that I can rest them. So
I think a staff centre is a good idea.
So
Yeah.
I've been,
So
whilst you
everyone
guys
needs
have been
a Kit
talking,
Kat and a
I've
Diet Coke.
I got that staff centre ready.
So that's
Get that
another
down.
new building, isn't it? That come along with the scientists. Yeah.
yeah.
You don't need it to have scientists, but as you were saying before, Tim, if you have a staff centre, then you have access to be able to hire a few more scientists as well. You can also, of course, upgrade that building as well.
They look so great. Look at them. There's a whole new world for them.
And these guys will now join their territory with the other ones that should be
Yeah.
on here as well. They should
So
just-
they're-
They'll end up as
they're
a group of 4.
Yep.
So where were we? We were.
So you got a viewing platform
resting.
there ready, or you got a viewing gallery? Sorry,
Yes.
should I say? Yeah.
I've
You know.
got I've got 75% of a star, which isn't enough.
So just for those who've joined, there's a couple of questions in the chat about the game and when it's available. So that's actually.
I don't know. When is it available?
Oh,
Tell us,
so-
Tim.
Oh, thanks, Adam. It's a
Thanks.
really good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's available, Jurassic World Evolution 2, on November 9th, and it is available for pre-order right now, and even with a deluxe edition as well.
Just have lots of extra goodies in there.
Yes, there's extra vehicle skins
Yep.
and
Extra
dinosaurs and reptiles.
And reptiles.
Of course.
Flying reptiles, marine reptiles.
Yes. So it's available November 9th. What we're doing here today is showing you with a in development build, as you can see there in the top right. This is not the final version of the game. This is actually one which we are using today to try and show you as much of the game as possible. So we're going to be playing, as you can see, building a park with my wonderful guests Adam Woods and Rich Newbold, and then we're going to be hopefully making it to see the Averys and the Lagoons as well before the end of the stream, and that's why we've got this specific build today, so that we can.
It's so bad.
You're doing brilliantly there, Tim. But can we just have a look at what he's just done there?
It's so bad. I tried at one point to make a really
What's
nice.
the umbilical cord between the two bits?
It's so that everything's connected.
But
Why have I got this?
I don't know.
Yeah, why did I do that?
It's brilliant. It's lovely, Rich.
So, this is one of my new favourite things we added.
Yeah.
Is like a bulk demolish tool, so I can just remove all my fences I want to get rid of in one go.
You were building it like that so that you could show the feature off. Well done. Sort of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
He's very
what
clever.
I
He's smart.
is
He's a
Rich
smart
Newbold.
man.
He's very
Rich
smart.
Newbold.
It's all by design.
But the delete brush is a very good update.
It's a great feature.
Yeah, it's one of
if you wanna
the
clear
improvements we
big
made to a
bits.
number of tools, so you can now move buildings as well. So if you click on any of the buildings and go to the extra tab, you can now pick up and move a building without needing to delete it and try and kind of do it again. So I can, if I wanted to optimize my park and move this in a slightly different place, could. And I'm just going to move it 1 foot to the left just to prove a point that I could.
He is, and he took a gamble because all his fences came offline there. But the Gallimimus were happy, so
Yeah, they're fine.
They were
he'd done his job
So the
beforehand.
Gallimimuses are
Struthiomimus.
the Struthiomimuses are
Struthio.
a security rating of 1, so they won't break out of this fence anyway. They just, if they did get disgruntled or they're uncomfortable, they try to escape, they wouldn't be able to destroy this fence. They would just keep smashing against it, and they would injure themselves instead, so rather than escaping. So there's now a kind of a puzzle element of making sure that you've got the right fence type security rating for the dinosaurs that you're putting in there as well. So.
So whilst Rich is creating these beautiful enclosures, and
Which are being
adding-
rated, by the way. If anyone's joined in, don't forget
Are we
to-
still rating them?
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
still-
It's
I
out
mean,
of
we're still
5.
gonna rate it.
We've got to give it our own out of 5 stars.
But the chat have been asking for specifically what are people's favourite dinosaurs. So we can go with yours to start.
Yeah, mine's the Amargasaurus. Absolutely.
Big puppy.
Yeah, it looks like it would like a good little chin scratch, you know, and would appreciate it. Just steer clear, like a hedgehog, I suppose. Steer clear of the spines, and you'll probably be all right.
And then they'll be very friendly.
But yeah, a really nice, big, gentle giant. I've fallen in love with the Amargasaurus. It's my new top favourite dinosaur.
I mean, for me, I told this story with Andy earlier about that book I had when I was. So the pterodactyl ends up being one of my favourites, absolutely. But I did always love going to like the Natural History Museum and seeing the giant skeletons there, and that was always. Admittedly, I felt like they were gigantic, but also I was quite small. I was, I was a kid, so comparatively, it was
even more gigantic.
Even more gigantic.
Yeah,
that's what
even
we're going
more.
to go for.
Very scientific term.
Yep.
When I've been talking to Pete Giles, the lead or the art director of Dinosaurs, I was like, "Can you make it more gigantic?" And he'd go, "Yep, I understand that exactly."
How about you, Rich? What would you say your favourite dinosaur is?
Triceratops.
Triceratops?
Good old classic.
It's really boring, and I know it's not boring. It's an amazing dinosaur. It's just I know that we have over 75 prehistoric species in this game. We have so many dinosaurs, and it's the Triceratops. But that's because for me, it comes from a place of love. It was the first dinosaur that I saw in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The first time, kind of, those things that I saw when I was a child be brought to life in film, and it kind of felt real because the first time you see it is they're up close and personal with it. It's sick. It was alive, and that kind of cemented it in as something that I really. It just made dinosaurs real as opposed to just pictures in a book. Because you get told, oh, these things lived millions of years ago and they roamed the earth, and you're like, that's amazing, but it's hard as a child to really believe that. But as soon as I saw it in the film, I was like, this is alive. This is a real thing. So I'm prepping for some Coelophysises.
Okay.
We're doing
Fantastic.
it again. Coelophysi.
Coelophysis.
This is
Well, the
more than one
Coelophysis and
Coelophysis.
its friends.
Yes,
The Coelophysis and its friends.
Coelophysis and its mates.
We've also got.
So here's the. Sorry, Tim, because we
No, we didn't go over this before.
we didn't go over this
Let's
before.
have a look
So
at this.
what Rich is doing here is looking at the Coelophysis genome and making any adjustments that he wants to. Some of the traits are locked, so he perhaps need to either research more or get more genome and kind of unlock more understanding of the DNA that you can then tweak. And everything from where he's trying to make it live a little bit longer, so splice it with some other DNA of other animals that will help make it live a little bit longer in the park and maximise the profit of the dinosaur, because it is a theme park at the end of the day. But welfare does come sort of top.
I mean, welfare comes first, of course.
And he also made
dinosaur.
some cosmetic changes there as well. So there's some sort of skin colour changes you can make and pattern colour changes. And we're trying to make it synthetic to the environment that you're in as well. So it all sort of ties in with how perhaps animals in the real world kind of tend to
And dinosaurs in the real world.
And dinosaurs in the real world. They are real, why not? Let's say that.
One of the questions that we saw come through was about, can guests see through fencing? So that's a pretty good place to maybe talk about the viewing galleries and the like, I think, because that's one right there, right?
Yeah, so we have viewing galleries.
There you go.
About
Visibility.
Yeah.
Game's got our back.
So the focus in the game is ensuring that they can see the dinosaurs. The main focus is these viewing galleries that Rich has already placed. We have a viewing platform as well, which gives obviously a height advantage, so you can see. Because some of the enclosures you're going to build are quite big, and the viewing cone. If Rich clicks on the viewing gallery very quickly, you can see the area that guests would be able to see the dinosaurs in, if that makes sense. If you had a platform there, it could reach further into the enclosure. So you have to sort of balance to maximise the visibility of your dinosaurs for your guests. But you also have other things like tour rides and stuff that will give visibility to that as well as hotels, which I think you placed.
I have
were you
placed
just
a
building
hotel
one?
because I'm trying to improve. My guest comfort is low, and that's why I don't have many guests at all, which is why my park rating is not very good. So I've been researching hotels, shelters, and restrooms. So we need to have more accommodation, so the guests will come have somewhere to stay. We need restrooms so they can go and feel more comfortable.
Okay. Are you trying to figure out what word?
The last one, shelter, so they can feel safe. So as I'm placing this restroom, what we do is we have added some more feedback, so you have an idea of where the demand is now for certain buildings, certain amenity types. So I can see that there's lots of demand for restrooms on this main thoroughfare between this viewing gallery and the arrival point, because our guest economy system is kind of destination based. We like to have it so that the guests come in from the arrival point and they're going to a destination, which means that we can have the guest economy be focused around certain parts of specific paths. So they're trying to come to this viewing gallery, and that's why we know where they're going to hit. So the guests they're not walking towards this response facility because the guests are going to go the shortest distance to the dinosaurs. We want to see.
Of course, I want to see the dinosaurs rather than the. I mean, as much as the good work that the response teams will be doing, I'm here for the dinosaurs.
Well,
that's why I've arrived.
I actually put them down because our Struthiomimus,
Struthiomimus and friends.
The information that the dinosaurs have is time limited. So the ones that we made more recently, we can see their information. We can see how they're going on. But the ones that we first made, their data is now obfuscated. So it's we need to use the ranger teams to have them periodically check the status of those dinosaurs. So we can either send out the ranger teams and go, hey, can you go scan this dinosaur for me and let me know what the data is. Or I can use a new building that we've added, the ranger post, which we can put that in one of our enclosures, and then we can assign the ranger team to the post, and it will then periodically on a kind of patrol go to the ranger post and scan the dinosaurs in the radius of the ranger post and give me that information. The ranger teams will also replenish any feeders automatically that we place in here for the carnivores. So off goes that team, and they're out, and our park
1
rating
star.
is going up. So that's going up because our guests are
A bit.
slightly more satisfied. They do need an emergency shelter.
So we had a question in the chat about, can you go bankrupt? Can you run out of money?
Yes, you can. And I've been doing it a lot playing the game recently because I keep I keep hiring lots of scientists and training them up, and then I'm spending a lot of money on salary, and it becomes that challenge for you as a park manager. Like, actually, I'm going to fire one of these because they're costing me too much, and I'm not earning enough to cover that. My dinosaurs aren't appealing enough.
Yeah, you have to plan and think. You know, perhaps in the early game being a bit more, you know, careful with your money.
So our Coelophysis, I think the batch size was possibly 10. I've got 8 eggs, but 2 of these have manifested a negative trait. So these ones will
Skittish.
go a bit more panicking, a bit more panicking. They might panic a bit more.
Panicky.
They're gonna. I mean, you give them a shot, see what happens. Just take them all.
Tim.
You're in the hot seat now, Tim.
Well, it's not my park that'll get rated.
I'm not the one that's being. Oh wait. Yeah. So
On the Ranger post as well, it might be interesting to call out that when Rich placed it, you was seeing a big circle around it. That was that radius there is anything within that radius. The teams will go and scan. So you could be efficient and maybe put that towards the edge of an enclosure, and it could actually cover another enclosure, and they will go into that enclosure and then scan there. It's not enclosure bound, if that makes sense. It's actually a diameter around the post itself.
okay. So
Of
I
course,
guess
direct control is still there as well. Players can still jump straight into the Jeep and drive that around if they so wish to.
We can have a little drive. I think we'll head on to looking at some building customization in a moment as well.
Yeah,
Rich.
we will. I've got some guests. They're happy,
We'll go for a drive.
but I've got some dinosaurs, but they're not. They need some food and drink. We've got a damage control center.
I think somebody was asking to see a bit of driving as well, so it's pretty good.
Also got so when Rich is in the kind of the aim mode as well, he can still control the Jeep and move it around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we added the ability now for you to control and drive the ranger teams and the capture teams, whilst also in the back seat doing your status checks or your repair or firing a flare.
Which is quite a skill.
It is a skill.
Quite a skill.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
So, Coelophysis are ready.
Let's release
7.
them.
So I could have released them into the Struthiomimus, but I'm going to use the release via airlift and put them into that really beautiful
Wonderful new
enclosure I made.
space.
Okay, I'll put them in
So
here.
this is the delivery of the Coelophysis and friends. As you can see, there'll be
We have
They're
a
all
taxi
waiting.
rank. The taxi
Yeah.
rank is
We're all
waiting to
ready
pick them up.
to take them to their new home.
Friday night in all of any town.
I do not know where town you used to go out in that helicopters would be on the taxi rank waiting to take you home. That would have been brilliant.
Hey, the things in Yorkshire are completely different. Okay.
We got
So
a
not
quick
in
question as
Colchester.
well from, is it Zintax88 on Twitch, asking how many game modes there are. So we've got career mode.
Campaign,
Yes, campaign.
Campaign mode.
Thank you. Chaos Theory.
Chaos Theory.
Challenge mode, which is what we're playing today.
Yep.
And sandbox.
Yeah.
So,
4 modes.
4 different modes and plenty to do throughout. For those of you who are just joining us as well, welcome to a Jurassic World Evolution 2 live gameplay live stream. We're currently here with Adam Woods, and manning the game is Rich Newbold. So we've got Adam Woods, executive producer, and Rich Newbold, game director, and we're playing the game for you today. And the version of the game that we're playing is in development build, as you can see in the top right there, and therefore there may be some bugs, there may be some small issues because this is not the final version of the game, but this is also a version of the game which we have adapted so we can show you as much as possible, because we want to make sure we can show everybody the Averys and the Lagoons today, and we're on a little bit of a timer, but I reckon we'll be able to get there.
I'm
Rich
at
is
2
doing a
stars
great
now.
job. He's almost at 2 stars.
I'm at 2 stars.
That's one of the changes we've made. We've looked at just reducing
Making it
some
a
of
bit
the
quicker.
requirements for getting hold
And
of the Lagoon and the Avery, so that we can show them off.
I'm going to
Today,
start that.
exactly.
I've got the research available, so I'm going to make that. I'm going to start doing the research now, and then we can do some.
We can
do some
have a look
building
at the customizations as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And what you also know, what you may have noticed, what Rich was doing while you were talking there to him, is he had his viewing gallery, but it's quite far away from where he had dropped off the Coelophysis Psi and Friends and Company and Co. and Limited. So he put some water right in front of the viewing gallery to see if he could tempt them round to that part of the enclosure. Smart, because they're gonna try and seek that water out.
So that's actually a
he also put
brilliant
a carnivore feeder near there as well.
Yeah, that's a brilliant use of the needs and the territory system as well. Again, of that they're going to expand their territory and you know what they need within it. If they're happy where they are, they won't need to expand it. And if you need them to be in a certain space for your guests, you can place what they need there, and they will make their way over because
they'll try. Yeah,
everybody wants a nice meal.
They are still animals. They might not behave as you want to. You never work with animals or children.
In the words
you're working with both today, because animals and children.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, they'll there's more chance that they might then scoot over to that side of the enclosure.
I think in the wise words of most DMs, you can certainly try.
Yeah, exactly that.
So I've run out of power. Because
sometimes life finds a way though.
Oh my word. I hope we get through one stream. The backup generator, because it's...
we should have had a sort of... if
counter.
You could have seen Rich, we should have... Well, a counter, but you could also have a simultaneous...
Rich wants to talk properly now.
So the backup generator and other buildings have a limited resource now. So this one has fuel. So over a period of time, that's being used up. Then refill it, and then the response facilities now have. I can click on the building. There we go. Have fuel for your teams and food as well for the feeders. So there's now separate resources that's being used up that you have to then spend money on and manage as well. So.
Oh, I've got another event turning up. So perhaps during one of the release, So we've just released some Dinosaur, and sadly a handler got injured.
I can afford.
So what's Rich gonna do?
The
moral conundrum.
I can afford that.
I mean, let's look after the team.
So the options were, I think, pay compensation,
or do nothing.
Look after them, or they knew the risks. It's fine. But he did the right thing. He did the right thing.
So we need some food and drink and souvenirs for our guests. So we've got some dinosaurs.
There's someone on YouTube saying, cover it up.
I know. Well, Rich didn't. But, maybe some people in the, dark
Rich
times, we haven't quite got enough money
and then is adding some donuts. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So the amenity buildings are now customizable. So this is a food amenity. I can now customize what type of food it's selling. And then I can also customize the interior modules as well to maximize my profit. So get a preview of how well it's going to do. So the interest group that is in this area is depending on the dinosaurs that are in this area. So in this part of the park, we have 40% standard and 40% nature guests, and we can then tailor the food to that group, and that will then change the profit. So
does increase the running cost of the amenity as well, so you have to balance that.
So it's this figure here. That profit bar is the one that you want to keep an eye out in your preview, because that's what you don't want to be adding lots of interior modules, but your profit's going to plummet. And then we've got our demand has gone down. It's not red anymore, so everyone's happy that they've got lots of food here. We have 179 guests using it, and what we can do in Jurassic World Evolution 2 now is we can customize the look and feel of our amenity buildings. So I can change between different building styles. I can change the different roof style. So
lots of different ways to give it that little personal touch.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of up to the player. They can just place it down, or and custom, or leave it, or they can customize it at the point, or they can come back to it at a later time. It's just to make put your little stamp on your park itself. We'll all know a Rich Newbold park by its fences and how he chooses to decorate his buildings. Yeah, we'll find out what colour he may go for in a moment.
Yeah, so I can change the architecture.
We're going to see that unique Rich Newbold touch.
Rich Newbold touch. So he's done enough with the structural changes.
I've run out of power again.
Because you didn't fill it right up.
Did I not fill it right up?
So there's two options. Again, trying to give options to the player that are being under pressure with money. Maybe you can kind of drip fill up with 50 units of fuel, or you can spend all your money and fill it up completely.
Put another one over there. So where were we?
Going on to the flexi colour.
So the trademark Rich Newbold style is shambolic, so we're going to find that as a colour.
Shambolic. Is that your trademark style?
It's generally blue, is how I describe it.
Yeah.
But no, we have different swatches, so green. I'm just going to name colours. This is purple.
Green.
It's not
Which
really.
you can name all the colours.
Orange.
All of them.
Yep. And then we also have a colour picker as well. So if you really choose the right kind of blue for your trademark style.
I think that's the rich blue, isn't it?
That is the rich
There you
blue.
go.
I
That's
do
the
like
rich
blue.
Newbold blue.
And you can save these colours off as well, so you can quickly
Choose them for your next
choose them
building,
again if you want
keep
to
that
sort of theme an area
consistency.
or
Yeah.
theme certain shops.
It's nice that you've got a lot, as you can see there.
The
you
whole,
can
yeah,
go for the whole spectrum.
exactly. The whole spectrum of colour is open to you, from the more vibrant greens and yellows, should we call them, to the perhaps more pastel tones as well. Whatever
So,
takes your fancy, you can.
So I've just saved off my secondary colour. I'm just used it again for the decorations, and I can also change the colour of the lights.
Yeah,
at
which I think
nighttime-
it's really nice at night time when you've got a long row of shops with all different coloured lights and things. It looks very nice.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah,
You're going for, there's some familiar colours, that blue and yellow there
yeah.
on the donut shop. Okay. What have we got now? Philanthropy.
Online petitions to fund various philanthropic causes is growing. Do I spend half a million?
But
my-
look at the publicity for
Man.
you. Money can't
Can't
buy.
buy
I mean,
that.
money can buy that
Can buy
publicity.
that.
It's about $500,000.
Yeah.
Probably worth it.
There you go.
It's probably worth it.
And
Just for those of you, again, I can see we've got quite a lot of new people joining this stream as we go, which is fantastic. Welcome, of course, to Jurassic World Evolution 2 live stream. We are playing the game live right now with executive producer Adam Woods.
Hello.
And hidden right now off camera, we've got Rich Newbold, game director, who's busy playing, as you can
just
see.
the voice.
Just to let you all know, the game does release on November 9th, and it is available for pre-order right now. And this build that we're playing is actually in development. As you can see in the top right corner, this is not the final version of the game, because it's still an in development version, but we've also adjusted this version so we can show you as much content as possible in the time that we've got available today. So usually you would have a lot more of a park that you'd need to be building through, but we're going to be showing you some of the stuff the community's very excited for.
Yeah.
Mosasaurus is doing okay. It's fine.
Just keeping us on our toes, making sure it wasn't breaking out, because
No,
it's an actual
exactly.
tank.
I'm not sure if you guys at home
It
have
cost a lot of
noticed,
money.
but we have got, of course, we set up an enclosure here in the streaming
Yeah.
studio. So
With a viewing gallery.
yeah,
This is basically what
this is the viewing gallery for our Mosasaurus. We love her very much.
There she is.
There she goes. It's very
You've
well
introduced myself and Rich, though. You haven't introduced yourself again
behaved.
yet.
Started the stream with
Yeah, but with the new
Fair
people
enough.
coming in.
You're right. You're right.
Who are you?
My name is Tim Smith. I am the community lead here at Frontier, working on Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's great to be here, and we're currently playing a whole bunch of Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Live gameplay.
Okay.
So Rich is up to 3 stars now.
I've got
Up to 3 stars. So while we're doing that quick catch up for everyone,
Yeah.
Rich has been on it.
Yeah, exactly. He's rattled through to over 3 stars now.
Yeah.
We made some of the adjustments, as Tim was saying before, in terms of how quickly we can research and unlock the Lagoon pools and the Averys.
Avery's, yes. I'm very excited to.
Hence, to try and
see
get to.
these.
We know the content that
We know what everybody
Will
wants to see.
Yeah. So you can see we've unlocked. So Rich had to research and unlock the Avery dome. It comes in single pieces, but can be modularly built up very quickly. You can see he's building up quite an enclosure very quickly there.
I love on Twitter. So we revealed, of course, with the Dimorphodon and Pteranodon, we immediately saw people wondering how the Averys were going to work, and someone drew a diagram for the system,
And
they were like, "I hope it works this way," and we're just like, "You
Well
are
done.
going to be
Well
so
done.
happy."
5-star
when you
park
see
for
this.
you.
Yeah, 5-star park
Absolutely.
for you.
Well done.
So yeah, that modular system, like
very
meaning
quick,
you can
very
spread
easy.
it out.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't necessarily need to build a huge enclosure. Again, the flying reptiles and marine reptiles have parity in terms of needs with the land dinosaurs, so they're not just kind of there and they're just going to be happy. You do have to look after them. They've got space they require, so you'd have to make sure that they're comfortable. And you can easily build very big enclosures like that. They also come with their own Avery viewing gallery for the Averys and a Lagoon viewing gallery, which is very iconic, which
I can't wait
we will
till we
get
to
to
that. It's gonna
see
be
that.
amazing.
And with the Avery, you can customize the environment inside as well. So the landscape tools are available to
fantastic.
players to ensure that the reptiles are happy in there as well.
I can see there was a question on Twitch asking exactly that as you answered it. So it was perfect.
In tune, in tune.
We did have another question from somebody on YouTube asking, is it available to pre-order on Xbox?
Funny you should say that. Person that asked that question. It is available to pre-order on Xbox
Amazing.
and PlayStation
And Steam.
and Steam. And it's
Yes.
coming November 9th. So not
You
long
can
to
get
wait now.
the Jurassic World Evolution 2 or
The deluxe
edition.
version with
We like
some
the
extra,
deluxe edition.
extra additional dinosaurs and goodies.
I love the Attenborough-saurus in the deluxe edition.
Yes.
It's so
Named
cool.
after David Attenborough.
Yes.
Yeah. Which obviously has a lovely link to the first
It-
film with Richard Attenborough. It's very
It's
nice.
got there's all this, everything's connected.
It's almost like
all connected.
it was chosen for a specific reason.
Well,
I love references. I
There
love
it
the
is.
authenticity. I just love being able to.
There it is. Hey, wow,
Hey,
Tim almost got
okay.
away with that. That's Richard's favourite
It's his
quote of the
favourite
film
quote.
at the moment. There it is.
So,
Well,
yes.
there it is.
you heard it here. Rich Newbold's favourite quote from the entire
Look him up
Jurassic
on Twitter and
franchise
send him all the gifts. He
is,
loves that gift.
There
He
it
really
is.
does.
I do love the quote. I'm finding it. I find we're using it a lot.
A new building that you're
So
just
what
placing
have
down
we-
there,
what have
Rich.
we
Yeah.
got?
So one of our Coelophysis has an undiagnosed ailment. So even though our ranger teams are giving us information, there's something wrong with it. But the ranger team won't tell us that. Our mobile veterinary unit will, which is a new team we've added in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So there's a new building, the paleomedical facility. They have a new team as well. So there's a special medical truck that will go and diagnose and give us information about what's wrong with anything, and if we have injuries or anything like that. The PMF building, the paleomedical facility, is a building that you transport dinosaurs into to fix their injuries. So if they've hurt themselves in a fight or they've hurt themselves trying to escape, you transport them into here to fix things like a broken leg or things.
Some things can be, what's the word? Not fixed.
Fixed?
What's the other word?
No.
Treated.
Okay.
Treated in the field. They don't always have to be transported back, but certain kind of like major injuries probably have to safely tranquilise your dinosaur and then get them back to the building looked after. So that's a nice addition. So what are we?
Pteranodons.
Okay.
We're going to make some flying reptiles.
Yeah.
We have enough genome to make some.
Some pteranodons.
Probably go with the scientists who have rested. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I think I've got.
Yeah.
You could send the others to the staff centre, right?
Yeah, I wondered where you were going to send them then. Just like just.
Just
To
to
the
the power
staff centre.
generator. To
and
the backup power
I can,
generator you go.
I can train them as well, so it's part of the research
Time to
system.
shovel coal.
You can unlock training points, so I can now increase their potential in any of the proficiencies, but that's going to increase their salary as well.
Yeah.
But doing okay for money, so
So we're going to rest some.
Travis can have a bit more genetics.
Yeah.
And have a bit of rest.
There we
How
go.
is my money doing?
So scientists are a new layer of management that the player must look after, and they deal with all of your research and kind of creation of dinosaurs. So they, including expeditions, so you have to send them out to dig sites to get the fossils and ultimately extract the DNA. They look after your synthesis and incubation of dinosaur creation, and they also look after your research tasks as well. So very key staff members of the park that
Absolutely.
you have to look after. But of course, it is a collaboration in the park as well. You need all the other teams to be working well as well.
It's a good lesson for life too.
The Avery domes also with the hatchery. That's what Rich has been using to synthesize and incubate the Pteranodons. So you don't do it in the normal hatchery. You have to build a bespoke version of it. Same with the lagoons, which we'll see in a little while.
So yes, I saw some questions. I couldn't catch the name, but people on YouTube asking,
Yeah.
can they see the lagoons?
Yeah.
We are very specifically going to get to that as well.
Yes.
But
So
first,
Tim, as a time check, I'm just going to start building the lagoon now. So
Yeah.
we're ready
yeah,
for
I
it.
think if you start building the lagoon now, then
No
we
worries.
can have a look at the Averys whilst
Cool
that's
beans.
building. We should be good.
So a similar system to how we place down the Avery domes, and also how you're placing other buildings in the game. We're just placing down these circular pools, which can be modularly extended,
Right.
depending on what sort of species you're going to try and release in there. I think we all is it the Plesiosaurus that comes up first, or is it the Mosasaurus? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but we'll find out. It'll be exciting for us to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is
Which
it
is trying to
you're-
increase his
I've realised
local 5-star rating by making his fences look a little bit better.
No, what I've realised is that I've put it in a place that I can't get a path through.
Oh, okay.
So you've needed to
Which is
rebuild
another
it.
infamous.
But look how quickly he
revolved
could modify
trait.
his park safely. He built an enclosure within the enclosure to make sure those dinosaurs didn't break out when he deleted the other bit.
He's
you
making
can
sure he's
just,
on top of it.
Just place
This is
down.
getting tricky.
Silophysis is trying to get a little bit
Taking on
spicy with the MVU there.
taking on the MVU.
Yeah, David and
So as you
Goliath.
can see, thanks to Rich's incredible skills as a park manager, we're already at 3 stars.
3
which
and a bit
is
stars, yeah.
Getting us over to the Pteranodons. So
Yeah.
we've got 2 eggs available, it looks
Mhm.
like.
Yeah, we had some
Um,
traits on one of them as well, which I think you had done some DNA splicing on
I
there, or-
didn't have enough genome
Okay.
percentage to do a lot of modification, but I
So
had
just
one.
a few,
that-
yeah. So apply as scientists, make sure they're incubated safely to maturity. And then these also, from these hatcheries, you can also do the airlift feature as well. So now you don't have to just release them out of that hatchery. You can choose to airlift them
A different
somewhere else.
area.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic. We had a question, I'm going to just go and find it,
Mhm.
asking from Orange Soda on Twitch, asking can Avery's...
Is that a little Kevin and Kel reference there?
It might be, yeah. But so it's, can
Keenan and
Avery's
Kel.
be...
Kevin and Kel.
Keenan and Kel.
Keenan and
It's
Kel.
all right,
Go
we're
on.
going to hold that against you forever.
Yeah.
Can Avery's be broken out of? So we had a little chat with Amy about
Yeah.
this earlier,
Mm.
but yes is the answer.
Yes, they can be.
They
Absolutely.
absolutely
If they're
can
not
be.
happy inside, they will attempt to break out. And once they've broken out, they will be causing a certain amount of havoc in your park and guests. So yeah, need to make sure they're looked after, just like the land dinosaurs, just like the marine reptiles. You have to
Can't get to it.
make sure they're happy and they've got all their needs met.
Doing at the moment, Rich?
I'm fixing this minor fracture with
With
my MVU team,
with some
but it's
medicine.
hiding.
it's hiding, and it's
Feels like a nature documentary
Oh,
there,
it is
doesn't
a
it?
little
It's kind
bit,
of
yeah.
you know.
it's so tricky. I'm just going to use the medical team.
They can get it done for
There
you.
we go. They're good enough for me. Right.
There we go.
So we've got our dinosaur clutch building. We're going to
Lagoon's still being built. Takes a while. It's quite a pretty spectacular structure. That's the word I was trying to say.
I mean, of course, you're building a habitat for
For
something as
something-
incredible as this.
She
There
came
she
by
is
just at
again.
the right time. Well done, Moser.
It's good old Moser. So
So
well
we've got
behaved
another
as
event here.
well.
We also recently, just before then, we saw some contracts as well come up.
Yes.
So on a sort of tick at the end of a month, as it were, at the end of the game month, you have the opportunity to choose contracts which can help, boost your money if you can achieve what the contract set out to do. It could be increase your profitability from your amenities. It could be, I think there's things like releasing new dinosaur species and things like that. So that can give you a bit of a direction in the park as well. An objective to try and achieve, as well as giving you a little extra in the bank balance to spend.
Absolutely.
Should have done that.
Shouldn't have done that.
I was
No
trying to make
steak
some more.
restaurant.
I was trying to make some more money, but by putting it there, it just wasn't profitable. So I would have
Take
just
it
been
away.
losing
We're
money.
using the view modes for that. You could see.
No, yeah, it was the demand when I first went into it. So as Adam says, we have a special management view mode that allows you to see where your need for various things are. So down here is
Whereas
where we have
can't
high need for restrooms, because we have that one over here, so that's fine. What our guest distribution is, where our different guest types are going,
Yeah.
depending on, because
Again,
I have
based
one
on
with
how your
yeah,
park's laid
this
out.
one is a carnivore, this one's a herbivore, so they're changing, and then our need for different types. I
Food,
do need
drinks,
some.
and
I could
souvenirs.
I think it's really great with all of the information we just saw that you can really see exactly what your guests are going to need, and you can see exactly where it needs to be as well, and careful use of all of that information.
Yeah. I think we've
here we
seen
go.
a couple of
Here we go.
screens. Oh, I'll be
It's,
quiet.
it's incredible.
All living creatures have basic needs.
And there's our first
we go.
flying reptiles, the Pteranodons.
Again, they've got their territory. For those that missed it, dinosaurs now have territories as well, so they build up territories based on what they need from their environment, which you have to make sure they have access to. So they've got full behaviours and territory like land dinosaurs. And again, as you saw here, it wasn't one Pteranodon, it was two.
Two,
Again
yes.
with species differentiation, you can release more than one now.
So we just had a couple of questions. Flintlock Engineering saying, "Is that Tim I hear?" It is Tim you hear. That is correct. But also
Famous
Satanus, the famous Tim, apparently. Thank you for the new moniker.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But so there was also a question from Saintness over on Twitch. So you can see on camera. Hello, I
Hello.
am Tim Smith, lead community manager working on Jurassic World Evolution 2. To my right, we have
Hi.
Adam Woods, executive producer, also working on Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Yeah.
So the question from Satanus was, is the game out now or still in development? And that it looks great. So
Well, thank you
thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
We couldn't be happier with the reception we've been having this week to the
Yeah.
game. The game is out November 9th. So not quite yet, but you can pre-order right now. If you like what you see, you can always head to Steam or Xbox or PlayStation to pre-order the game. And this is an in-development build. So as you can see in the top right corner, it's saying development build, and that's because quite
It's a
simply,
development
it's
build.
an in-development build.
It is a
So this is
development
not the
build.
final version.
No.
That means there may be some small errors and some bugs. However, of course, there will be a final version that will be
Yeah.
available on
Yeah.
November 9th. And in this version, we have made adjustments to make everything go a lot faster, so we can show you as much of the game as possible during the roughly an hour that we have available to be playing today. So that's why Rich is currently working hard to get the Averys and the Lagoons up and running, so we can show you some more of the Pteranodons. I can see somebody named one of them Terry already. And
Terry the,
of course, the Lagoons.
Terry the Pteranodon.
Terry the Pteranodon. Absolutely. So yes.
Cheeky. Tim, yeah, of course. Yeah,
There we go.
brilliant.
Did you? Oh, I see. I've got my own Pteranodon. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I mean, you've got to call the other one Adam then, surely.
I did. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, Adam and Tim
We're hanging out.
sitting in a dome,
Oh,
and we're lonely.
Lonely because
Because we haven't got Rich.
from each other.
We need Rich involved
I
as
got
well.
so the Pteranodons have a minimum social. They prefer a social of at least 3 by the looks
Well,
of it.
there you go. There's 3 of
There's
us.
3 of us.
So I've
yeah.
got to make.
There's
I have to make
Tim, there's
another.
Adam, there's
I'm gonna have to
Rich.
make another
Yeah.
Pteranodon.
Again, it's that
So they're
nuances
happy.
between species. Some of them are,
Yeah.
you know, they're quite, what's the word? Opposite to, you know.
Social.
Antisocial.
Anti-
Yeah, they're
Antisocial?
not antisocial and not lonely when they're happy on their own.
They're happy on
They're
their
solo.
own.
They just wing it on their own.
They wing it
That
on
sort
their
of thing.
own.
Yeah, yeah.
I see what
It's
you,
definitely a
I see
technical
what you
term.
did there because they've
Um,
got wings. I hear you.
I can't think
hear
of the
you.
word. Solitary. There you go.
That's the
Solitary.
Can we all cut that? We're not live, are we? We can cut all that bit out.
Yeah, none of this is
Brilliant,
live on
thanks.
Twitch right now. On YouTube.
Some of them are more solitary and some of them are more social. So you have to balance that with how they're going to go into their enclosures.
I wonder if you really get how Twitch works. But yeah,
I don't know.
No, that's okay.
No.
sorry, that's what I'm here for. I got you back.
Rich needs to be careful of his response team there. We've got a little icon flagging up that there might need to be something.
They're running out of fuel.
Yeah. So the response team now have fuel. You need to provide them with fuel for the helicopter and the cars that are driving around, and you also need to make sure they've got the supplies that they're going to go
Yes.
and resupply the feeders with, the carnivore feeders and such. And it's the same with the ex-paleo medical facility.
So,
which just
I'm
tightly
trying to make a
doing-
mosasaur, but making dinosaurs is not cheap.
It's
It's
not
going to
cheap.
cost us like 2 million to make that dinosaur.
It's
So
all right. We
I'm-
can stay here till we
Oh,
get
I
this
see.
dinosaur
Right.
in.
Yeah.
So
and you're
I'm-
at 400.
I'm doing some I'm doing some cost cutting exercises. Across
He's checked the budget.
I've
There's
checked
some,
the budget,
There's some hard decisions to be made.
and I'm sorry.
Udell, you're out.
I don't.
Merry Christmas.
I don't need that many scientists at the minute,
And a
and I
happy
would like us to get a
new
mosasaur
year.
soon. What-
It's all right. So we are.
We've also had a breakout.
We've also had a breakout.
So definitely Pteranodons can definitely break out.
Now
Someone
proven
was
out
asking
right.
about whether
I wasn't
you can
lying.
break out of an Avery.
Wasn't lying.
It's happening.
Yeah.
And someone
Can-
was asking, do they just fly away?
Yeah,
And
so
right
you can
now,
see
there's
that.
a breakout, and
Okay.
we are going to send a ranger team to retrieve this dinosaur. So
This is definitely going down a part of the park
Tim
rating.
escaped first by the looks of it.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm
that's fine.
you can't.
And I just followed.
can't stop me.
I don't cause the
Can't stop
trouble.
me.
I just have to. I sort of go with the flow. You know, I don't want to rock the boat.
Okay.
We just saw a little guest having a little bit of trouble there with one of the Pteranodons.
This is
But
fine.
I'm sure Rich will financially recover from this.
Yes.
Nice little.
It's all going to be
You can
okay.
see though also they are building up the territory outside the enclosure
Yes,
as well.
they're
So the
all
territory
building
isn't just linked to the enclosure; it's definitely outside.
So there's a whole world for Tim and Adam the Pteranodons.
A whole new world.
A whole new world, and they're exploring it. So this is now up to Rich to contain this issue, and that is a classic Jurassic issue that you have.
You haven't got any dev tool magic, have you, Rich?
No.
On this one because it's a final.
This
build,
is what
isn't it?
happens when you go live. Okay, I thought they were happy. I thought they were happy.
What went wrong?
Okay, so I think
I've got another question from, it looks like on YouTube. It's quite a long name. Gryphoenixsaurus Rex asking, can pterosaur species coexist with each other? So can you have more than one species in an Avery? for
Yes,
example?
certain species will cohabit with each other in a gentle and tranquil way. Yeah.
Yes.
Some
Hopefully.
won't though. Yeah.
Some won't.
Yeah. Depends on who's managing the park, hey Rich?
I don't know where Tim's gone. Where's Tim's?
That's Tim's there. He's outside the
So you can't stop me.
lagoon. We're both there. We're together.
Yeah,
Hanging out. Are we on?
I don't think you are.
No,
Okay, Tim, I'm sorry.
I'm out of here. That's it.
What we're going to do is make sure
You
that
didn't
this-
realise the
Oh, I don't
power
know.
that
I
you
mean,
gave this Pteranodon by giving it the same name as me. It's unstoppable.
I think there's quite a nice little irony there that Rich has just suffered a Pteranodon breakout. So what he was going to do is release more Pteranodons.
It's so
I think that's like quintessentially what
They-
people
Well,
keep
if
doing wrong
you-
with Jurassic World and Park. It went
Double
wrong. What should we do?
down.
Build another one. It's fine.
just double down.
Yeah, there's someone to say. Everyone in
And
chat
Helen
here
is
is
alive
fantastic.
and well.
Someone
Where's
saying they're
Tim?
very interested to see when more things go wrong. I mean, that's,
Hey, this
that's
is
Jurassic World Evolution
exactly.
too.
You have to deal with these calamities. You
How
know,
much do I
Rich
need?
has
840.
taken his eye off the ball. Perhaps it's a very stressful situation right now. He's got
Yep.
me berating him left, right, and centre. He's also live on Twitch, so you know
I'm
he's,
going to make
he's-
some money. It's
he's
fine.
got a lot of pressure on him, but he's
So,
doing okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we'll
I can
we'll
just-
just keep
I'm
going
not
for a
doing
bit,
money.
for sure.
I think what we're trying to do is get to the mosasaur. He's trying to figure out how I think to generate enough
That's all
money.
right. Like we can just carry on for a bit so we can get to that mosasaur.
Perhaps
want to
just
Okay.
contain
sell. How
just
much do you
what's
get back
happening.
from your Avery domes if you sold them? We've seen that. We've seen that now. It's okay.
It's not as much as
Well,
I
I mean,
thought
we
it'd be.
need the home for
I'm trying to.
for Adam. I mean, Tim's gone. But
Adam's a free spirit. He can
you
can terrorise the
let
guests.
him loose.
Can I make any more money out of these?
So he's also now
Yeah.
checking. So what we're seeing really is the actual game loops of trying to figure out. Okay, so your park may not be performing as you want it to. How can you better extract some money from the pockets of your guests walking
I'm so
around?
glad I didn't have that nightmare about me worried about not playing in my own game well on stream.
Yeah,
it's fine.
no, it's fine.
Definitely not come to life.
It's absolutely fine.
What? Don't know where Tim went.
I'm
This is
a
the-
free spirit. You can't stop me.
You're somewhere.
I'm
Development builds. Who knows
somewhere
what's
and
going to go
everywhere.
wrong? Okay.
It's omnipresent.
I need. What's that? 840. It's just
So there's lots of information there that Rich can use to help guide him through this, slightly stressful situation of trying to raise some money. The boarder knocking at his door. Lots of information there, lots of
Yeah.
screens. In all seriousness, that the players can use to find out how to more efficiently run their park and tend to guests and dinosaur needs.
I think selling these.
Yeah, he can extract.
selling some minerals.
That's going to
Yeah,
help.
so sometimes when
minerals.
you're on digging for the fossils in the ground, your team may find minerals and kind of some treasures such like that, which can be extracted and then sold for actual money rather than DNA. They don't contain DNA,
Okay.
but that can be a nice little hit of money, as Rich has just found out. I think.
So we'll be back on track pretty soon, I reckon.
Still want to spend that money on the Pteranodon though?
Yes, because Adam, you're lonely, mate.
Okay.
So
We can. I mean, how many?
He looked after me
Pteranodons?
I'm
first.
making two.
Yeah.
I'm making two plus you. That's three.
Yeah.
Power of maths.
Okay. And then they'll be happy and you
then
can
they'll be
forget about
happy.
them. Yep.
And
One day
then
we'll figure out where
Tim-
Tim went.
Well, one
Tim's out of
One
here.
day Tim's gone somewhere. It's fine.
Yep.
Like we said, it is a development build. There are some bugs. It's also a slightly older development build. It's not.
Yes,
It's
of
from
course.
from a little while ago that we took this So,
But we want to
you know.
make sure we can show you as much as possible,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep going right now
yeah,
until
absolutely.
we get
I'm
it.
having
I'm
fun.
excited to see
I'm having fun.
Adam the
rich trying to-
Pteranodon's new friends. I'm guessing we can keep this theme of guests on the show today,
Mm.
so we can have an Amy and an Andy.
Yeah,
and,
maybe one of the
I hope they're better behaved than you
behaved
two
than
were.
us two.
we're just a force of nature, Rich.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know. So
we
here we
go.
go. So how many more? We've got 2 more coming out.
2 more. Oh, I forgot to make them. I forgot to change the cosmetics just so we know
That's
that
all right.
they're
That's
the
okay.
nicer ones.
The nicer ones.
So
So we've got
Amy.
Amy,
and
Andy.
Andy. There we
Welcome
go.
to the park.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Meanwhile, Tim is on an adventure.
Meanwhile, Tim, the adventure of Tim. We will never know. Hopefully, he'll write a memoir when he's back.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
the Pteranodon Chronicles.
the ranger teams can be assigned to the
Yeah.
Averys and the Lagoon, so they'll do the same job as they do in your other enclosures, but via the hatcheries. So we use those as the ranger posts. So you can get information about what feeders are being covered by it, what flying
Yeah.
reptiles are being covered. So they will. You can be asking yourself, how does that ranger team get in
How do
there?
they get through
How
a
do
little
they get in
slot?
there? So I'll wait for one. Actually,
See how the Rage team do this. I'm enjoying speculations of where Tim has gone in chat. People are like, what's happened to Tim? Where's Tim gone? Is he gone to Cardiff? Is he?
Maybe there should be like on the forums or something. You could go and
Where's
do a little
Tim the
thread of
Pteranodon
Tim's
gone?
story, like what happened after this. I'd love to read that.
The the extended story of
Yeah.
Tim the
Tim's
Pteranodon's
adventure.
grand
So-
escape from Park Newbold.
Park Newbold.
So when this ranger team only has one job now, and that's to go to the hatchery. What's the other one up to? Make sure that you've got. No, you don't need to go to the hatchery. I've got the other. You're going to look at this one.
There we go.
Cool. Right.
So ranger patrol posts now are items you can place down and then assign a ranger to, and within a area of that post they will
That's a bad sign.
check
That's a bad sign.
check any welfare on the dinosaurs within that
Yeah.
area to give you the information you need to then make any informed decisions about their needs and making sure they're nice and happy. The piscivore feeders, which is a horrible word for me to try and say,
Piscivore,
need
yeah.
an amount of water because they are a container of fish. So you know
course.
you have to live fish, live bait for the Pteranodons.
So here's our ranger team.
Yep.
But it's on the inside. So what
It
we
is
do
on the-
is
it's on the- it is our ranger team, but it's on the inside.
the ranger teams send out drones. So they visit the hatcheries as part of their patrols. Now the drones go around and they
Yeah.
act as their equivalent, and they'll fly around doing your status checks, replenishing your feeders.
Should we
doing your
check the,
tranquilizations.
Someone who was eating fish down there.
There, yeah. I am, yeah.
There's Adam.
That's me. You
Getting
can
a
normally
snack.
find me eating. That's
Yeah.
that's one of my favourite pastimes.
Well,
So
There we
there
go.
you go. Like we said,
sometimes
we're in
game
an
development throws up
build.
interesting things.
So,
and then it all recovers and you're fine. And
As we've mentioned earlier, just for those of you who have joined the stream more recently, we are playing an in-development build. There are a couple of bugs, but this is not the final version of the game, and it is one that we have adapted so we can show you more of the game much quicker, so we can still show you. As you can see, we've got Amy, Andy, and Adam, the Pteranodons,
They're
who are
all-
being
Here's
They're
one of the-
happy.
who are happy.
So here's the contracts I was talking about before as well. So
Yes.
we have the option, if you want to, you don't have to take them on, but you can take them on as an extra bit of a challenge, and then the rewards, monetary rewards as well.
I'm going to use that one because I was worried about that one. I went for that mission because I was worried about adding more dinosaurs to this. I'm worried about spinning any more plates on dinosaurs when I've clearly been doing a terrible job with the ones I've got.
It's not easy. It's
You're
I think you're
managing
doing
a park.
I think
These
you're
ones are
doing a very
fine.
good job.
I mean, we've seen
Struthiomimus didn't break out at all.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
You know, all
and
the
the Coelophysis seem to
Coelophysis.
be staying put as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, their territory keeps dynamically changing. So the forest I put down in this part of the enclosure, that they
keep
originally
reaching.
started off over here, but because of
Yeah.
the water feeder, the waters and the carnivore feeders, they've moved in
Yeah.
this direction.
That's actually a
which means
really good example of it, because you can
forest-
see how
It's changed.
it's built.
Yeah, the forest that was here
on that side there. Yeah.
is just not working for them. Like,
Yeah.
so they'll
It's
come
too
this
far
way.
away from everything else, so they're kind of trying to
trying to do a bit of
they're
each.
prioritising food and water, obviously. So what Rich can
Yeah.
do there is, like you say, just
And
paint down some more forest coverage, and
To
then
be
they're
fair,
happier.
I also prioritise food and water.
Same do I. Yeah. Do you want to go to the forest, or do you want to go to Greg's? And I go to Greg's.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
reasonable.
That's basically what I do.
Okay.
For all the people that actually know what Greg's is. Filling up your backup generator as well.
Yeah,
That
it's
runs on fuel, so we
running
do
out.
have the full power station with substations and pylons to
Yes.
really, you know.
There is a full power
generate
system
power,
you can run there.
But
of
we also
course.
have this new way to power your park if you so wish, or to use as a literal backup generator if things start to go wrong.
I would
So what are
like
we researching now?
to have a viewing gallery on my Avery.
Yeah, that's the one.
Attraction, that's
yeah.
the one.
And then it's the bottom one on the third row.
But I need 500
But, yeah.
guests in my park
Yeah.
to get there.
So he's looking at the research tree as it were, or the tech tree for,
Yeah.
for a
That's what
gamified reason. And some of the items you can research need prerequisites of other things being unlocked or known about, and you can work your way through. And you can see all the information on the right hand side
It's what you need.
as to
you'll
what will it
get.
unlock,
Yeah.
and also what you need to do to unlock that. And then you apply your scientists to make sure that they're
I'm
hard
using-
at work.
I'm using a scientist that has cheaper research and one that is faster research.
Yep.
So combined, it will be.
Combined, you're going to get there a lot quicker and a lot cheaper, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. But
Yeah.
as you can see, Rich has bumped up that money. He's at
Yeah, I'm
1.2.
slowly-
He had a
getting
real he had
was
a
close,
real
yeah.
on his hands, but he stayed cool, stayed calm,
Did I
and he got
though?
it done.
It's cool, calm,
Just like
and
he is,
collected.
it's like he is in real
I
life.
wonder if there's
you know?
any
True.
more.
Steers the ship with a steady hand.
I wonder if there's any more
That's Rich
herbivores we
Newbold.
can get
Rich
in.
Newbold.
Captain of the
There's
ship.
the Amargasaurus. That's my
So,
That's
my
your-
favourite
your
one.
boo.
so the Seuthiomimuses. So our dinosaur species now have likes and dislikes, which kind of other species they all like, dislike, obviously. So I'm just checking what our Seuthiomimuses liked or
Seuthiomimus.
disliked to put in with my another herbivore just to get our dinosaur appeal up. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put in the Nasutoceratops because they'll mix together. And I think they also have the same paleobotany requirements as well. They both like ground leaf. So
So I can see some people. There's L Blaster 2 saying, "Release the Mosasaurus. We're working on it.
I'm working
We're,
on
we're,
it.
we're trying.
We
we're
will.
absolutely trying.
We will
but
show you all the Mosasaurus before we finish the stream today.
Yeah.
We just, of course, need to get to a certain point in the park. Even though it is a in development build that we've adapted,
Mhm.
we still need to play the game. Of
That's
course,
yeah.
like that's where the fun's had, is in playing the game. In the meantime, if we
Gonna
flip
come
back
back.
to
come
having
back to
the
that.
studio view, you'll be able to see here. If you pay attention, there's our in-studio mosasaur who
Yeah.
you can enjoy in the meantime. Just swimming in the background there, but she'll be background in a second. And just for anyone else who is there and has joined more recently on the stream, we're currently streaming Jurassic World Evolution 2. This is an in-development build. This is not the final version of the game. We will have some little bits and pieces of bugs, because as I mentioned, it's not the final version.
Mhm.
However, we've also adapted it to show you more. I'm waiting for our mosasaur to turn up.
She keeps going by while you're
While I'm
well,
talking,
yeah, yeah.
that's fine.
It's the-
As long
it's
as she's
the-
there,
It's the
and she's
Mario
happy.
ghost. You look away and she
Yeah,
she,
that's okay.
she swims by.
But so we can show you more of the game quicker. So as you can see, we're moving our way towards showing a mosasaur on stream in the game, and the game is not available yet, but will be on November 9th.
And don't forget, we are rating
The
Richard's.
park.
He has his in-game rating, but there is also going to be,
There's a
at
lot
the
of
conclusion
story.
of the stream, we're
I mean,
all
there's a
going to
lot
give
of
our...
story in this park
Yeah.
right now. Like there's
Yeah.
the
been-
wild
I've been
Tim the
through a lot.
Pteranodon
Yeah.
is out
We-
there.
It's been
420.
an incredible
some-
journey so far.
I need some scientists. Ironically,
That's
the
fair.
scientist that I fired earlier would be very useful right now.
Redundancy's coming back, huh?
Okay.
Well, we're going to continue, and we're getting there. The amount of money's going up.
There we go. So
Clearly
we've got
with
some
some
scientists
rested
recovering
scientists
from rest
there.
there as well.
We've got our Avery viewing gallery, so I'm going to build one of those, and that will definitely help. And
Yeah.
then let's get all these people on that.
So what Rich is trying to do is increase the attractiveness and the kind
Yeah.
of the appeal
Oh,
of the
no,
park,
water.
which will in turn then generate more profit. So he's spending a bit of money, speculate to
Let's
accumulate,
Spend money to
as
make
the
money.
classic saying goes. That's why I keep buying Lego, because I believe that will then come back
Lego
to me
is the way
in,
forward to fortune.
in tenfold when I'm old.
You're all about the rhymes for the last about 45 seconds.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can keep going.
I don't. I can't. Now I'm thinking about it. I won't be able to rhyme.
I need you to keep
So
going.
here's the here's the custom Avery viewing gallery as well. So it's not just it's not the land viewing gallery. It's a whole new building that gets placed on the side. Oh, Rich. It's got
Oh, I think
that might be Tim.
that
mightn't
might be
it?
Tim.
No!
Okay. So that forum story needs to include.
Okay, so
the
we've had a
ultimate-
conclusion to the
How
saga
did
of
Tim's
Tim's
life end?
Pteranodon.
Yeah, I think that's Tim.
Oh
So what
boy.
That's
happened?
fine. I'm okay with
What
that.
happened when Tim left the park, and how did he ultimately find his demise?
Oh man.
Let's see. Look, you see them
Can we,
perching on the
Can we
gallery.
get some memorial in the chat, please? For let's take a moment.
R.I.P. Tim.
Let's take a moment
Take a
for
moment.
Tim the Pteranodon, who was left without support. And
There we go.
Looking
Okay,
good now. Look,
Now we've
1.4
got some
mil.
viewing galleries. We're on the. We're doing it.
So you can see here, we're going to research the marine viewing gallery, which looks very, looks a
very
bit
interesting.
familiar, doesn't it?
I appreciate there's a lot of support in the chat for Tim the Pteranodon. There's just lots of Fs and RAPs.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, yeah.
for Tim the
I think he
Pteranodon.
lived his best life when he left
I
the
mean,
park.
he
though.
lived fast.
He could have stayed in, and that would have been life would have been boring if he stayed in the
He
evening.
lives
I mean,
life
he
in the
just-
fast lane.
he
We
just
knew
wanted
that.
to
He
get
broke
out
out first of all. He lives
Yeah,
life in the
he was
fast
out
lane
there.
and enjoyed the Canadian wilderness.
Canadian
Wild-
wilderness. That's right.
Here you can see how we going straight back on.
Yeah, we'll get
Point.
back into this. We can
You can see the two territories. So we've just released the Nasutoceratops.
Yeah.
They have a different territory space compared to the Struthiomimus that's in this one. It is this one, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Struthio's. So you can, when you're looking at it, we still give the player an indication of the other territory because you need to balance the two.
Yes, of
They
course.
might not want to feed off the same paleobotany plants that the Struthios do. So you have to balance it. You can
You've
create
got a lot
very
of, tricky
yeah.
elements to combine. Because of course,
Absolutely,
if
yeah.
you don't meet the needs of one of them, then you're going to
They're
have
gonna
a lot
have-
of
you might have a
issues,
bit of
you
trouble.
might have a breakout.
Exactly.
You might have some poor welfare, and your guests aren't going to want to see that.
No,
They want to see the dinosaurs
Being happy.
thriving, being happy and healthy, of course. And we've got to a 4-star rating, so we're doing actually
Doing very well.
pretty fantastically.
So the other thing to keep in mind is not only it's checking that the dinosaur species are compatible, but also the dinosaurs don't like a lot of overlap. So even if you had lots of species that can live with each other, they
Yeah.
might not want to live with each other.
Mhm.
So the Nasutoceratopses have I think it's like a 45% overlap. So if their territories overlap lots,
Mhm.
they're just not going to be happy, regardless of who they're living with. It's a bit like people, really.
Yeah.
You know, fill a house full of people, even if you like them, they're just going to be annoying eventually.
Yeah. And you'll notice that it says forming territory there. It's a good idea to,
Yeah.
when you release your dinosaurs, to actually give them a moment to actually seek things out and then change it. Because if you're a bit too quick, you can end up, not being efficient with how you're
I've
changing
done
the
exactly
landscapes.
this before. I've tried to pre-prepare
Yeah.
the territory before
Yeah.
they come, knowing that
Yeah.
like the Struthiomimus will want
Exactly.
ground leaf and
Yeah.
a bit of water.
Yeah.
I've added it how I thought they would want it,
Yeah.
and then they arrive and they
It might
decide,
be different. Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to go over here, and I'm mad that you didn't add stuff
Exactly.
to this area.
Yeah, they might want to be somewhere else. So sometimes good to let them, when you get a new cat or dog, you have to let it settle into your house for a while, and then you
Of
start
course.
giving it. There we go.
So,
our new Nasutoceratops.
There we
Oh,
go.
and here's
Aw.
one of our. This is without doubt my. God, I went really strong there. Without doubt.
Without
It
doubt.
probably. I don't know how I can backtrack
No,
from that. It
without
probably is
doubt.
my most favourite part of the game is this side of the dinosaurs. Like, obviously the fighting and the hunting is cool, but seeing more of that social
Yes.
behaviour. I think we started it with Jurassic World Evolution, where they became these animals. They're not, they're not. They are dinosaurs, obviously, but they're actually animals that you can sit and watch and kind of get into. And it's just been extended with that. The animation team have done an incredible job at really showing off this personality.
It's
like that.
it's incredible watching those moments just happen
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just sort of one will head
Just-
to the other,
yeah.
and they just have these little interactions whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
There's lots of videos have come out since the pre-order announcement on Wednesday.
Yes.
And there's one content guy, I can't remember his name, I think it's on YouTube, who finally got to release his Plesiosaurus plesiosaur. We still don't know if it's Saurus. Chat will tell me in a minute if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
He finally released it, and he was looking at it, he was really happy, and then just from back, the mosasaur came and ate it.
Oh no! I didn't see
And
that
it was
clip yet. Oh.
perfectly kind of.
Oh, I
it
did
felt
see
like a
that clip,
cutscene.
yeah.
It felt like a
It's-
cutscene, but it's all just it just happened in game, and they're the little bits that I really enjoy seeing when the game gets played by players. Is these little moments like Rich there have with that social interaction. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
So
Fantastic.
I'm almost about to do my mosasaur.
Oh, here we
in
go.
the
We're
but in the
getting to the
meantime,
Here we
I was-
go.
finale
I've been.
with the mosasaur.
I decided to build a power station because I was just
The
tired.
backups
of,
weren't working
I
for
was
you.
just, I
Trying
was just
to build up.
tired of doing
Yeah.
the backups all the time. I'm just like, yeah. So just gonna get some substations in as well.
There we go.
Get some power in there. That's
Some
great.
power. Cross those
Feels like he's
lines.
going real for a real kind of last-ditch attempt to make this park rating
So
As good as it can be.
as good as it
Tim,
can
I
be.
need to prepare you that I think if I release this mosasaur, we might hit 5 stars and the challenge level will finish. Just as a heads up.
Okay.
What a glorious way
What
to
a-
potentially
What
end.
it's so ironic.
If we get to see it.
So I'm just gonna.
Let's try and
get things
tank.
like-
What if you were to just accidentally release the rest of the Pteranodons?
What I can do is intentionally sabotage, I think, some of the guest
Yeah,
ratings.
maybe
It's
if you
okay.
sabotage yourself a little bit,
Of
so we
course.
can see the Mosasaurus would be.
I just wanted
appreciated.
to, when I start doing this, I just wanted to give you all the context for why I'm doing it,
Yeah.
because it is a custom.
Because what
it's
you
a
want to
custom
show is
challenge mode.
the delete brush that we now have, where you can delete multiple things
Just
at once.
multiple
and you
bursts.
and you
rid
can
of
No,
switch
don't do
things
that.
on and off.
No, don't do that.
Bulk
actually.
demolish.
I'm glad that button's there. Let's not get.
It's not good too
Let's
hasty.
not go too hasty. All right. Delete
Welcome
that
to
one.
the self-sabotage part of the stream.
You would think I've been doing this for a while, but no, it's now the point at which.
Well,
I'm
the problem is you were
self-sabotaging.
too efficient. Like you're reaching that 5-star rating, and
Bring you down a bit more.
you're doing too good.
It was normally on previous kind of run throughs of this. Obviously, we've sort of tested it and played it. It's a very much a golden path of from here to there. There we go.
Yeah.
25, 30 minutes. We're at Mosasaur. But of course, here we're enjoying seeing all the bits and how Rich has built up his parks. That's why it's taken a little bit longer. We've been digressing and looking at all the other areas
have,
of,
yeah.
of features that are coming.
Oh, there was a different way to do this.
It's all right.
I'm a
Rich's
full
got
to-
all the tricks.
I'm a fool to myself. I should have just deleted a viewing gallery.
Do it.
Oh yeah,
Delete them.
That would have been the easiest way.
yeah.
Just can't see them.
Can't see them. That's one of the biggest.
It's like the whole
biggest appeal.
economy is based
Yeah.
on that, Rich.
It's all right. We're gonna do our best to get you that Mosasaurus.
Here we go.
Everybody in chat.
There we go. Okay, we're
There
now
you
to
go.
2.5.
Okay, so we've tanked our own parks rating.
Okay, so we
We've got-
synthesized it.
We've got the
Synthesized
egg.
it.
We're
I have
ready
the
to
money.
incubate.
Intolerant Mosasaurus. We can
Yep, it's okay.
Okay.
As we saw with the before you, well, you're going to incubate anyway. So it's done.
No, tell me about.
In the Avery Dome, Rich showed us the drone that the park
Yes.
teams then control instead of actually entering the dome. The Lagoons have a very similar thing with an underwater drone that they would then control and perform all the duties that they would normally do on a land-based enclosure. So all the same mechanics and priorities there. Just quite interesting seeing this little drone flying around the enclosure or
Okay.
the marine.
We're doing it. We've got.
There we go.
Do I have anyone that's going to make it quicker? No. So I need lots of
Need lots of
welfare.
welfare.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
Taking 19% off that, so it went from 3 minutes 20 down to 2 minutes 41.
There was a
Because
suggestion.
he had some traits and
Ooh, we're
he
gonna
applied
need-
more than he needed in terms of the requisite skill for the scientist.
We are going to need
Okay.
feeders.
Oh yeah, you got to get the.
There was also a suggestion in the chat.
Oh, but you have to have the Mosasaur
Ah.
out first. Yeah.
Of course.
From one of our moderators, Osric,
Yeah.
suggesting.
Oh, Osric.
that-
Hi, Osric.
Hey, Osric.
I know him
suggesting
very
that
well.
when we have the Mosasaurus, we could call it Francesca to
Yeah.
in honor of the other person in the room here today.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we have, of course, got the wonderful Francesca helping us with producing the stream today.
Yeah.
So we can't let her go without some
No,
sort of
no, no,
representation.
no,
Everyone
no.
else has had one.
Absolutely.
None have been as legendary as mine, but you know we persevere.
Well, let's see what that story pans out first of
Yeah.
all. It might just be that you broke out and hit a tree, and then that was it. And that was a bit of a bad way to go.
I
So
guess we'll never
we'll
know.
hold the legendary
Yeah.
status back until we find out what
Okay.
actually happened to you.
I'm going to use the time controls, new time
Yep.
controls that we've added for Jurassic World Evolution 2 for these moments where you're rapidly trying to get to a mosasaur.
With these moments when
exactly
you're
what it
screaming
was.
and you're
We
trying
were
to get
like,
that
"Should we have time
mosasaur out.
controls? What if you just want to need a mosasaur and it's just taking, it's just a minute and you're
Yeah. So
dying
you've
to get
got
one
real
out.
time. You've got 2 times, and is it 3? So
Yeah,
there's
it's
three times
2 and
there,
3
yeah.
times. And of course, you can pause the game as well. So if you need to take a moment just to sort of plan, there
if
are
if one of
events
your
in the game.
Pteranodons has escaped and you have
There
no
are
idea
events
where
in the
it's
game
gone.
that will stop it though. They sort of disable the time controls because it could be quite a powerful tool. So
Yeah.
you know we
Yeah.
sort of have to balance the use of those time controls.
we don't want a calamity or a storm to come in and for
Yeah,
it to cause
absolutely.
too much damage to you
Yeah.
whilst you're at 3 speeds.
Yeah,
So
yeah. If it's something just whipped through at 3 speed and you didn't know what was going on.
suddenly, yeah.
Here we go.
Here we are. Should we go to full screen? Here comes the mosasaur.
There we go.
Here she is.
There she is. Yeah. What a fantastic
Yes,
creature.
Incredible. Should we get that rename in now?
There we go.
Here we go.
Welcome to the club, Fran. So now we've released it, we need to make sure we can feed it.
Yes.
And I mean, surely there's only one feeder to place down, Rich, isn't there?
There is. I wanna
Once
go
you can get it
research
researched. Oh, you have to research that one. Do you have to do that one and then
I think I have to do the next
the
one as
shark?
well.
So there's 2 types of lagoon feeder. You have the piscivorous feeder, which is the kind of cage that you can place down in a body of water that the Pteranodons will eat, and also the things like the Spinosaurus would eat from that, or Baryonyx.
Yeah.
And then you have these lagoon feeders, one which is kind of like a shoal of fish that get released to the side of the pool for some sort of shoaly things. And of course, the one that we're shoaly thing. Again,
We're all about the
like I
technical
say,
terms.
absolute resident dino expert. Lots of people come and ask me for all the technical terms.
They do.
Got a bit tiring of being so scientifically correct, but I got through it.
Surely
And then of course there's the
Why is
actual
that
feeder,
not
which
coming up in there?
we all know we want to place down and have a look at.
So, irony. You'll have
Is now you need to probably increase your park rate.
I need to get my part rating back up to 3 stars. So I'm just going to put this string gallery back in. I'm going to delete some fencing. There we go.
There we
okay.
go.
And then what did I need? So how's our mosasaur? Where is she?
You can see very quickly there as Rich entered here, it's building up its territory as well. Has a
yeah, absolutely.
Stuff,
I
yeah.
mean, there's going to be this territory space for the mosasaurus
Mhm.
as well.
Yep.
Here
here we go.
So I think we'll make
2.8
sure we get
pass.
the feeding in.
There
Yeah. So for those who have just joined, we have now built up the legendary Newbold Park, featuring
It's not that legendary.
Newbold Park featuring an Avery with a very happy group of Pteranodons whose names all begin with A. And of course,
Yeah.
Lagoon with a
Yeah.
very soon to be very happy Mosasaurus. And the guests are probably happy too. So I'd say we're having
Yeah.
a very successful park here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Rich has dealt with some calamities along the way. We had
Some
the
classic moments.
Pteranodons fancied a little excursion around the park, so they broke out of the domes, but he managed to get them back under control and get them back in and kind of cover up the damage and get his safety rating back.
Yes.
And
And then Rich
action-
has
health
almost
and
been doing
safety.
too well and had to self-sabotage.
he then had
so-
self-sabotage, and then he had to undo all of that. And
Went too far.
yeah. So we're just waiting to get your park rating up at this point, so you can research the shark feeder. And of course, you can see what we with the lagoon viewing gallery. You can also take a look from that view as well by showing the view. On this one, of course, you can also lower the stand, so you can,
Yeah.
like in the Jurassic World film, they the whole thing can be lowered down
As you can
if
see
you
right
want
here.
to, and then the view obviously changes
Yes.
to showing you the inside.
Mosasaur from
There's the
this
mosasaur
view.
just Just in the depths there.
It's like she knew we'd come down. She's like, I'm just going to go over that way.
This is very familiar to what we have in the studio as well. Every time I look is when she won't come by, and every time I look away is where the Moser swims by.
Okay.
So I think we're just trying to get to 2.8 stars, is it?
I'm at 3 stars. I'm
3
just gonna,
stars?
I think
You're at
that's
3
hotel.
stars now. Oh, you need to get to 3 stars.
Yeah, I need 3 stars
Back
to
up
get the
to 3
shark
stars.
feeder.
Put the hotel back where it was.
Yep. It's fine. It's fine. We're doing fine. There we go. Now I can do
There
it.
we go. Shark. The marine shark feeder.
All of the
That
scientists on it.
cheaper research.
Yep. So as we've said before, some of the science have traits that you
Yeah.
can then utilise across the different tasks. Any scientist can be applied to any task. It's just if
Some will be
you've got
better
the
at
right,
some
yeah,
things than
exactly,
other.
yeah.
So
So
if you
you
take
can
scientists who are more proficient in
Exactly.
structural biology,
Exactly.
you maybe don't want to put them for the chemistry side.
No,
Like,
exactly.
they'll probably be able to do a bit.
I was
but
thinking the same thing, Tim. Structural biology and the
Exactly
other
the
thing that
same
you
thing.
said. I was,
You were
it
thinking
was the
I
exact
mean,
same.
this is the kind of conversations we have at lunch
Yeah.
here at Frontier. Is the different worlds of science which we want
Yeah.
to approach. Of course, there's
Okay.
biochemical, structural biology. You've
The other one,
the other one,
yeah,
which was
the one you were
physics.
about to. That's the one,
Yeah.
the physics one. Yeah.
You've also got experimental physics, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
So what are we putting down here?
I'm
Putting
gonna
down
put
the souvenir. Oh, was that
I'm putting my food back down.
food back down?
Yeah, so we can get that star rating up, so we can show you all,
Yeah.
giving the Mosasaurus a decent meal.
Yeah.
And steaks, of course, for
Yeah.
the guests.
Just FYI, you
With an
don't
ice cream
actually
machine.
do that.
It's
Who
it's-
doesn't
it's-
love his ice
it's a
cream
food.
machine?
It's a food amenity that will sell steaks, lovely fountain, and an ice cream machine for after you finish your steak.
And what those internal modules do is make it more. It serves the interests of the guests that are near that park. So there's 4 guest interests: standard. I can't remember the other 3, which help me out. Standard, luxury,
Nature.
nature,
Adventure.
and adventure. And depending on how you've built your park, will attract different one of those different demographics, or maybe more than one. And then you can update your amenities to better serve that interest. I'm going to try and be quiet here so we don't miss it.
I'm going
I
to
also
delete.
saw,
I was going to say delete the.
whilst
delete-
you finished setting this up, there was a message as well from Eagles Pro saying, thanks for doing this, guys. It's really helped me understand how the new features work. And you're
Yeah.
very welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and watching.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Otherwise, it would be us 3 playing our game.
I
to
mean,
no one.
which is always a great
Which
time
would
to
be
fair.
great. It would be
When
fun.
we do that, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
We're
now we played
waiting
away.
with,
Now we
with
wait.
bated breath.
If anyone has rated my park and wishes to
Yes,
submit
well-
I suppose, yeah, maybe we
I'll
should.
ask-
Should
I'll
we?
ask.
We'll
So,
get
Chaz,
that.
Can
Please
we?
don't.
Can you, out of 5, either do literally just the number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? If you pop that in the chat right now for your rating for Park Newbold, while we wait
Oh.
for the Mosasaur.
And what would what would
to come
your
for the shark.
rating be, Tim?
Where's she gone?
I'm gonna probably, considering that my namesake has just been abandoned, I'm gonna say a 1.
A 1.
My
she
namesake
needs
was
that fish
abandoned.
feeder.
And you think that was a direct
it
correlation
was
to
an
how
attack.
Rich has managed and laid out the park?
Oh, there's a lot of numbers. 5s.
That's a good number.
There was a 6 out of 5, a 10.
That's more than 5.
Okay,
If-
I think
if
it's
it goes-
averaging
isn't
out at
that-
about 4. There's a lot of 3s. And
I think
there's-
I'll take that. That's a good.
Oh, there's a -2. 5 Goldblums.
5 gold. There you go. That's the
4
winner.
Timmies.
4 Timmies.
Would have been 5 if you hadn't let Tim.
I thought
have
I'd
a
get
horrible
5.
demise.
because I
That did
let
hit
Tim
you.
go.
Your public rating went right
Yeah.
down there, I think.
Someone said
Publicity.
if I had to be honest, 6.5.
Wow.
Someone rated 1, and then someone else rated 100. So I think out of 5, we're probably looking at more around 4. I think is
Okay.
where we're settling.
That's a good average.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a good. I was going to give it a 4.8. I was going to.
4.8.
Yeah.
Out of 5.
Yeah. Hmm?
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Oh, fair play to you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
The,
man.
the fences were the point too. I had to deduct some of those sharp right angles.
See a
were-
tail over there.
They're strong.
It's a
Maybe she's
design,
coming
like
this
they
way.
chose a design choice. It's for his aesthetic.
It's very yeah. The aesthetic I would know by that sharp pointy fence that was in a New Bold Park, but
The lack
it's
of
a 4.8
curvature.
I'd say. What would you say, Tim? Oh, you gave it a 1, didn't you? I
Yeah,
was gonna
because
say
of
that.
leaving Tim to his demise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she fed on those fish already, didn't she?
Yeah, she's.
Where is she actually hungry?
If we remove the other feeders,
I did, and then she
Yeah.
started getting uncomfortable, and I got a bit worried about her. But
We're
And
just
also
all-
because-
this is the stream now.
Because of the way
We've come so
The-
far. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
they have the food and their hunger need, their food and
Hunger.
hunger needs is that we have to kind of wait for her to.
She's not a
There
performing
we go.
monkey. She,
I think she's
Oh.
coming.
oh, is this
she might be a performing monkey if you hang
Might
a
be-
shark over the top of her. I suppose.
might be the moment.
No.
No.
It's just silence
Just
falls
he's-
over the studio.
It's like, oh, it's the tease. Have to let nature.
Incredible.
I can't believe I almost spoke over it as well.
Almost.
You have to let nature take its course, and it did. Well done.
Did.
There you go.
Incredible.
Oh, and then the
So the
snowfalls.
very
then
iconic
the
shark
snowfalls.
feeder.
Incredible. So I think we should probably call it there for today.
Okay.
But so thank you so